Hey folks, Animana here, and I've got a video here to talk about potential rumours surrounding the Resident Evil 3 remake. With Resident Evil 2 recently being released, there's definitely a lot of optimism in the air with hopes of Resident Evil 3 actually getting the same treatment as Resident Evil 2 has with the remake. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go over the history of the Resident Evil 2 remake, as that will give us a good idea of how we can expect a remake will take place. So first off, in 2012 is when Capcom noted to fans that if they wanted a Resident Evil 2 remake, that they should let Capcom know, and that the more noise they heard about fans wanting a Resident Evil 2 remake, the more likely that it would eventuate. So if we jump forward another 3 years in 2015, H from the Dev 1 team announced that the team would be remaking Resident Evil 2, while they also on the screen on the video wore that iconic "We Do It" shirt showing that they're gonna do Resident Evil 2 remake. And then now, fast forwarding to 2019, the Resident Evil 2 remake has finally been released to critical acclaim, selling over 3 million units in that first week of it being released. So it should also be noted that during the development of Resident Evil 2 at GDC Game Developers Conference in 2017, Capcom actually noted that they would actually like to do more remakes similar to the Resident Evil 2 remake. So in the comments below, I'd love to hear what you would like to see Capcom remake. For me, off the top of my head, maybe something like Dino Crisis? I'm not too sure. But anyway, during the week post-launch of Resident Evil 2, in late January of 2019, a site called GameWatch interviewed Yoshiaki Hirabayashi, I hope I got that right, who stated that if fans let Capcom know that they wanted a Resident Evil 3 remake, that it could be possible if there was enough customers that demanded it. And also, around the same time as Yoshiaki noted that Capcom would make a Resident Evil 3 if there was enough hype for it, there was a Twitter user named EvilVR that made comment that they had heard that Capcom mentioned that they would not actually launch Resident Evil 8 until they had released Resident Evil 3 Remake. So again, that user also noted to take this with a grain of salt because obviously stuff changes in the game industry pretty frequently. They also mentioned though that Capcom was unsure if Code Veronica is going to be considered for a remake, and that Capcom isn't really interested in remaking or retconning Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6. That the two games being focused on currently are the Resident Evil 3 remake and also Resident Evil 8. Now, before I finish up this video, because that's pretty much the news I wanted to get at, I did want to point out, working in a kind of a corporate and commercial business, it kind of lets me think about how games would work on that level. So when a license generates a lot of hype, it's very profitable. There's a lot more leverage to it, merchandise can be sold, games are less risky, and it gives that development team that leverage to get more funding to make the game better than, say, a standard HD remaster like Onimusha recently got. So when we hear Capcom saying generate hype and we'll make the game, we should see it as, obviously they're probably going to make the game, but the louder the hype, the better the funding will get for that game, and the better the game will end up. So I don't know about you, but hearing rumors like this and Capcom suggesting again that hype would result in a higher chance of Resident Evil 3 being made makes me very hopeful for the future of the Resident Evil franchise. I actually wouldn't mind seeing something like Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy Color get ported into a modern style, whether that be something like the Resident Evil 2 or 3 remake, or even something like Revelations. It would just be really cool to see that game get some justice, I guess. So with all these rumors in mind, I've got two questions for you. One I've already asked. First off, what are you looking forward to most in a Resident Evil 3 remake? And again, what other Capcom games from around the PS2 or the PS1 era would you like to see be remade? I did mention earlier, personally, I actually missed out on playing Dino Crisis as a kid. I was playing JRPGs at the time, like Final Fantasy VIII and stuff like that. So I think that would actually be a pretty easy game for them to port across with the RE engine that we've seen on Resident Evil 2. So anyway, if this news has been useful, or it gives you a little bit of hope, maybe hit that thumbs up button, and if you do want to see more videos like this and any beginner's guides, hit that subscribe button and the bell to get notifications as well, and comment below. I would love to hear your responses to those questions. I'm Anna. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, morning, evening or night, wherever you're on the world, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.